Guys, the Miami series coming up with the Red Hawks, the team that last year was an enigma, I guess, to put it lightly. I don't expect, what was it, 9-2 or whatever it was last year? I don't expect that this weekend. What do you think, Brad?
And they had how many disallowed goals in that game too? Like 3 of them. So no, I don't think we'll see that type of a team again. Last year they really struggled defensively. This year, if you look at their defensive numbers, they've only allowed 2 goals a game. So they've actually been pretty good defensively. Offensively, they have a top 6 that I don't know if any team in the country can match, with Zarnik, Barber, Corrali, Blake Coleman, who we did not see here last year, but he returned for the frozen face-off game where Miami beat UND. So it looks like a different team.
Entirely different team, and I think a team that probably will vie for a championship. So important for North Dakota to get off to a good start in the conference. They're 2-0, but at home.
Yeah, I think so far, if you combine the records of every team they've played, it's something like 10, 23, and 2. So they haven't played teams that have had a lot of success early this season. Miami is 7-3, so this is going to be maybe a challenge on the level of Providence. I think Providence is still going to have a really good year, but Miami clearly is a team that expects to contend for the NCHC title, and UND will have their hands full this weekend.
And to a point, it gets to where, you and I have watched it all along. This team a lot of times plays better on the road, and I think they've got to turn that around a little bit. They've played well at home, but I think they probably played better hockey while winning at home and better hockey while winning on the road, maybe.
Yeah, I think so far this year, and I think they want to get back to making the Ralph. When they get going at home, the Ralph can be a horrible place to come for opponents. When they start get going, take leads early, get the crowd into it, it can just be a nightmare. And Miami lived that nightmare last year, and I think UND wants to get back to that this year.
Then there's football on Saturday, final home game for UND. Tom, they take out Northern Arizona, and it's a team that's right up there, and they're vying for a playoff spot, huh?
Yeah, and I guess, that's your, you got to look at that as maybe some of your motivation this week. You can play the role of spoiler a little bit for what Northern Arizona is trying to accomplish, because there's a few surprise teams in the Big Sky this year. Idaho State, Cal Poly are a couple of them, but Northern Arizona is in that mix as well, because early in the year I watched them play against South Dakota, and I didn't think they were going to be a team that would contend for the Big Sky title, but they're kind of looked at as in the driver's seat for it, just because of the schedule, the way they finish. So UND's got a challenge in front of them, and maybe they can kind of ruin Northern Arizona's momentum right now.
They don't have to
step out of Jer Garman.
Absolutely.
And they don't have to stop Zach Bauman.
Well, that does help a little bit. Oh man, he was a great player. You're exactly right. Jer Garman is going to have to continue to do what he's been doing for UND moving forward, and maybe that defense will just have a little bit better week as far as just getting off the field a couple more times, because they're going to have to play almost the perfect flawless game, I think, for this offense, because this offense right now, as much as you want to talk about rhythm and consistency, and they'll say that, and they're certainly striving for it, I still think it's going to be a bit of a bumpy roller coaster ride, basically, for the offense. Some series may be okay, others may be pretty brutal at times, so you'll take the good with the bad.
You touched on it earlier, Tom. They've got to do better on third down conversions, or against defending third down conversions. They just that hasn't gone well at all.
Well, usually when you set somebody up into third and long, you're making them one-dimensional. That's when you can pin your ears back and make some plays defensively. That hasn't happened the last few weeks. That they need to switch that turnover margin around.
The volleyball team closes out their regular season before the conference tournament. Paul, how important is that for them to go out and play well on the road?
I think it's critical this week from the standpoint of they're really trying to, I think, stay out of Idaho State's side of the bracket as long as possible. And so I think they really need to go and try find 2 wins on the road. It's going to be very difficult. Eastern Washington typically is not an easy place to play, and Idaho is right up there. So, you look at that, how it sets up, and Idaho certainly wants to have a say in it too about who's going to be the 2 seed going into the Big Sky Conference tournament. So everything's in front of UND volleyball. They can go and get that number 2 seed, but it's going to have to be done on the road, and it will be a challenging weekend, but hopefully they can put it together. And as Coach Pryor has alluded to time and time again, they want to be playing their best volleyball in November. So far they are. Hopefully they can keep it going.